The son of one of America's most prominent prosperity gospel ministers has been arrested on serious criminal charges, and what the family and church are saying right now could change everything about their ministry forever. I've analyzed both statements line by line, and there are critical details they're sharing, and others they're carefully avoiding. Stay with me, because what I found might completely change how you view this situation. Welcome back, Anointed Ones. This is a difficult video to make, but as someone who follows developments in major ministry organizations, I believe we need to discuss this with wisdom and discernment. Today, we're examining the statements released by Gary and Drenda Keesee and the Faith Life Church Board following the arrest of their son, Tom Keesee, on very serious charges. Before we analyze these statements, let's establish what we know. On April 18, 2025, Tom Keesee, son of Faith Life Church founders Gary and Drenda Keesee, was arrested at his home in Johnstown, Ohio. According to the Licking County Sheriff's Office, he faces 2 felony counts of rape, with more charges possibly forthcoming after a grand jury hearing on April 21st. Tom previously served as the church's chief media officer until resigning last summer. Both the church board and the Keesees have now released official statements addressing this situation. Let's first examine the official statement from Faith Life Church. Addressing the arrest. Faith Life Church is deeply saddened by the news of a criminal complaint filed against Gary Thomas, Tom Keesee Jr., the adult son of pastors Gary and Drenda Keesee. We know this is a difficult time for our community, our congregation, and all families involved. Faith Life Church decries all forms of sexual abuse and stands with survivors of such abuse in faith and prayer. The complaint alleges incidents that occurred approximately 2 decades ago that in no way involved Faith Life Church. The allegations have been investigated by the Licking County Sheriff's Office, and Faith Life Church has cooperated fully with investigators. We responded in accordance with the information available to us then, and we remain committed to transparency and truth. Our leadership has always pledged to uphold the highest standards of accountability and care, and we renew that promise today. As this case proceeds through the legal system, we will refrain from further public comment out of respect for due process and the individuals involved. We remain ready to cooperate with any legal inquiries as needed. Faith Life Church is committed to fostering a safe, compassionate, and just environment. As we approach the Easter weekend, a time of reflection, renewal, and hope, we are reminded of Christ's triumph over sin and death, and the call to walk in light, even amid darkness. In this season of resurrection, we cling to the promise that truth will prevail, healing is possible, and God is near to the brokenhearted. We ask for your continued prayers for all those affected by this difficult situation. Faith Life Church is committed to remaining a place of refuge and unwavering faith, grounded in the love, mercy, and justice of Jesus Christ. For further inquiries, please contact Qatari Buck. Partner, Asiatico Law, 813-816-7049. Qatari@baalegal.com. The church board's statement begins by expressing sadness and acknowledging the impact on their community. They immediately establish that they decry all forms of sexual abuse and stand with survivors, positioning themselves on the side of victims. What's particularly notable is this line: the complaint alleges incidents that occurred approximately 2 decades ago that in no way involved Faith Life Church. This careful wording creates distance between the institution and the allegations. The board also states they've cooperated fully with investigators and responded in accordance with the information available to us then. This suggests they may have had prior knowledge of these allegations before the arrest, but the statement doesn't clarify when they became aware or what specific actions they took. They commit to transparency and truth, while simultaneously announcing they'll refrain from further public comment. This tension between transparency and silence is worth noting. Interestingly, they reference Easter and Christ's triumph over sin and death as a metaphor for their current situation, focusing on redemption rather than accountability. Now, let's turn our attention to the personal statement from Pastors Gary and Drenda Keesee. Dear church family, Drenda and I are deeply heartbroken by the news of a criminal complaint filed against our son, Tom Keesee, earlier today. We recognize the pain and confusion that these circumstances have caused our family, our church, and our entire community. Faith Life Church decries all forms of sexual abuse and stands with survivors of such abuse in faith and prayer. The complaint alleges incidents that occurred up to 2 decades ago that in no way involved Faith Life Church. The allegations have been investigated by the Licking County Sheriff's Office, and Faith Life Church has cooperated fully with investigators. We responded in accordance with the information available to us then, and we remain committed to transparency and truth. We have always pledged to uphold the highest standards of accountability and care, and we renew that promise today. As this case proceeds through the legal system, we will refrain from further public comment out of respect for due process and the individuals involved. We remain ready to cooperate with any legal inquiries as needed. In the midst of this painful storm, our purpose at Faith Life Church does not waver. Now, perhaps more than ever, we remain committed to proclaiming the gospel and sharing the hope and power of God's kingdom with you, our community, and the world. Faith Life Church is committed to fostering a safe, compassionate, and just environment. As we approach the Easter weekend, we invite you to join us at Faith Life Church. Together, let's celebrate the great exchange, the incredible truth that Jesus took our brokenness and gave us his wholeness. He took our death sentence and gave us life, Galatians 2:20. He carried our sorrow and gave us joy, Isaiah 53:4. He bore our sin and gave us his righteousness. He took our fear and gave us peace. He took our poverty and gave us provision. Drenda and I are deeply grateful for your continued prayers for all those affected by this difficult situation. Faith Life Church is committed to remaining a place of refuge and unwavering faith, grounded in the love, mercy, and justice of Jesus Christ. With sincere gratitude and faith, Pastor Gary Keesee. The Keesee's personal statement largely mirrors the board's language, in some sections word for word. This suggests coordinated messaging and likely legal review of both statements. They express being deeply heartbroken, but quickly pivot to the same institutional distancing. Allegations from 2 decades ago that in no way involved Faith Life Church. What's particularly striking is how quickly their statement transitions to ministry promotion. In the midst of addressing serious allegations against their son, they invite people to Easter services and elaborate on theological concepts like the Great Exchange. This pivot feels abrupt and potentially tone-deaf given the gravity of the situation. Neither statement addresses the specific nature of the allegations, the identities or circumstances of any alleged victims, or what support might be available to those affected beyond prayer. There's no mention of any independent investigation or review of church policies. Both statements refer inquiries to what appears to be legal representation, Qatari buck of Asiatico law. This suggests they're prioritizing legal protection, which is understandable but raises questions about pastoral responsibilities in such situations. Neither statement directly addresses Tom Keesee's current relationship with the church since his resignation last summer, nor whether church leadership had any role in that departure. The timing is also significant. The allegations apparently date back 2 decades, yet the investigation only began in February 2025. This raises questions about when and how these allegations first came to light. As we process this difficult news, it's important to remember several things. First, the legal process is just beginning. Tom Keesee is entitled to due process, and we don't yet have all the facts. Second, if there are victims in this situation, their healing and justice must be prioritized over institutional reputation. Third, how Faith Life Church handles this situation moving forward will reveal much about their true values and priorities. As members of the broader faith community, we should be watching not just what these leaders say, but what they do, how they care for the vulnerable, how they address power dynamics, and whether they truly prioritize transparency over damage control. This situation reminds us why accountability in ministry is so crucial, and why no organization should be above scrutiny, regardless of its size or influence. I want to hear your thoughts on this developing situation. What stood out to you in these statements? What questions remain unanswered? Leave your comments below. And if you found this analysis helpful, please like this video and subscribe to Anointed TV for more thoughtful commentary on issues affecting the church today. And remember, Anointed Ones, as we navigate difficult topics like this one, seek truth, extend compassion, and never stop asking important questions. I'll be following this story closely and will update you as more information becomes available. Until next time.